الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فوجد عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا وكيف تصبر على ما لم تحط به خبرا قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا قال فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرا صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Prophet Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, because of his one statement, had to undergo a very long journey. He had to leave his home and travel to a very long distance he had to go through, and his destiny was very long, very far, because of his only one statement he made in a public, and that statement was I. When he was asked by the people, by the crowd, O Musa, tell us who is more knowledgeable at this very moment. Rather than saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, he said, I am more knowledgeable. In a way he was right, because he was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala disliked his answer. And because of this Shaitan had to leave paradise, and he was rejected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, when he said, I am more knowledgeable, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O Musa, then you have to leave your home and you have to go and find someone who has more knowledge than you. Now look at Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, being a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As soon as he hears from Allah that there is someone who has more knowledge than him, he was fully prepared, and he became very eager, and he wanted to go and find this person and seek knowledge from him. And who this person was, his name in the Quran has not been mentioned, but in hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari, his name is mentioned as Al-Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam. And I have mentioned in my last week's circle, Dars, Khidr means green, which means that he was given, his name is green. Wherever he sits, the grass grows there. Wherever in the spot where he sits, the grass starts growing. So for this very reason, he is known as Al-Khidr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَوَجَدَ عَبْدًا مِنْ عِبَادِنَا. And I've mentioned in my last week's gathering that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was accompanied by his khadim, by his servant Yusha bin Nun. And they both, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, when they set out for this journey, they met one of our slaves. Now here a question rises in the minds. Now it was possible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to arrange all this while Musa being at home. Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam could have come to him and taught him the knowledge which Allah has blessed him with. Now what was the reason behind all this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained Musa alayhi salatu wasalam to leave your home and go and search for this person? The sole reason behind all this was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to put Musa alayhi salatu wasalam into a trial. And this has been the custom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from day one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who are very close to Him, those who are chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah always puts them into trial and into tests. We see the story of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, given the title of Khalil, the friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look how many trials he had to go through. And look at the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam being the Habibullah, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the leader of the Sayyid al-Anbiya alayhi salatu wa sallam, upon whom the Nabuwa and the prophethood has been closed. But look how many trials he had to go through. So this is, this is the custom, this is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to, how He used to upbring the prophets and how He used to train them. So here, similarly, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, it was within the power of Allah to arrange everything, and Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam could have come to him. But no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not arrange all this. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Musa alayhi salatu wasalam that you have to travel and you will find on a certain place, spot where you will meet our servant. Now here again, the whereabouts of this person, they were not clear. What Allah said to him is that, look, take a fish with you, a fried and a grilled fish with you. Wherever the fish becomes alive and then goes into the water, that is the spot where you will meet our person, our slave. Now, this was also not clear. Just Allah said, this is the, where the fish will become alive. Now, the spot was not clearly mentioned. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to put Musa alayhi salatu wasalam into a trial. Now, this person, Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam. Now the question is, was he a wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or was he a nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Now the commentators, they say the Quran in this waqiyah, of this Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, there are so many incidents happened. These incidents prove that the Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam was prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was a prophet of Allah. Now so many things happen from his hand, which only a person can do if he has been commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or it was revealed to him. Like killing a child. Killing a child is against the Sharia. Killing a child is against the Sharia. But here he kills a child. Why? Because he was given a knowledge which Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was not given a knowledge, and why he was killing, what was the reason behind it. He broke and he damaged the boat. Here again, it was revealed to him. Now here, some people, take on the basis of Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam, what some people say, they say Sharia is different and Tariqat and Tasawwuf is different. They say sometimes something in Sharia, it is prohibited, but for the Sufis, it is permissible, which is totally wrong. Here, Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam, from the appearance, he did few things, which we can say, and even Musa alayhi salatu wasalam took them as grave sins. But he knew what, Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam knew what Musa alayhi salatu wasalam did not know. What was behind it, behind the killing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed and told him you have to kill him. There was a reason behind it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to him to damage the ship, the boat, because Allah already revealed to him the reason of damaging it. So which Musa alayhi salatu wasalam never knew. Now sometimes nowadays, some people say, those who claim to be, the religious, and those who claim to be, the pious people, and then they say Sharia is different, and Tariqat and Tasawwuf is different, meaning, a Sufi, a Buzrug, a Pir, he is allowed to commit sins because he is a pious person. if we see and if we find and if we acknowledge someone, who claims to be, a religious person, and he claims to be a pious person, and then also he's committing sins openly, then the ulamas, they will speak against him, and they will declare him as a sinner, and they will not declare him as a pious person or a friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody can compare himself to Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam, because Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam was the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was given a knowledge of certain things. Now, what was the difference between the knowledge of Khizr alayhi salatu wasalam and Musa alayhi salatu wasalam? There was a huge difference. The difference was the knowledge which Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was given. He was given the knowledge of rules, of the things which are haram and which are not haram. He was given the knowledge to tell people what is haram for them and what is lawful or what is unlawful for them. The rulings, he was given. But Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam totally was given a different knowledge. He was given the knowledge of the management of the world affairs, which means to kill someone, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows later on he will commit shirk. So Allah told Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam, before he commits sin, you kill him. You kill him. Now this ship, this tyrant, ruler, he forcibly takes this ship of poor people, and when he sees the ship which is sound and it's not damaged, he captures it. But when he sees the damaged one, he doesn't do anything. So Khidr was told that this ship, you damage it, so that it remains safe from the tyrant, the ruler, And so this would, and also when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to promote someone, to make someone king, Khidr alayhi comes in. It's just like angels, they are appointed for the certain duties. Some angels are appointed for the rain, some, for the sun. So similarly, Khidr alayhi he was given few duties, who to promote. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to, someone got in the wilderness, someone got lost, then here comes Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam or Ilyas alayhi salatu wasalam. This is their duties, to put someone on the track and on the right path. If someone got lost in the wilderness or in the jungle, this is their duty. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to bring someone down, someone is king and Allah wants to bring him down, here comes Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam and Ilyas alayhi salatu wasalam. This is their duty to bring him down. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to bring someone up, then here comes Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam. So these are his duties, the management of the world affairs, which the knowledge only was given to Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam and not to Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. So therefore, although, remember one thing, nobody think that, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was commanded by Allah to go to Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam. So therefore, Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam becomes superior than Musa. No, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, let me tell you, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he was the prophet who communicated with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, number one. He was a Nabi and he was a messenger, he was a Rasul, meaning he was given a special book by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was given a good book, he was given a Sharia, and he has a large community of followers. Whereas Khidr alayhi salatu wasalam, number one, he was only a prophet of Allah. He was a Nabi. He was not a Rasul, meaning he was not revealed a book. He was not given a book by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was not given a Sharia, nor he had any followers. So only a certain knowledge he was given, which was not given to Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Because of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam's statement, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to teach him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to train him that what you said, it was wrong. You should have attributed to me. You should have said only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is knower of everything, not me. Because of this mistake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when a prophet, even a very little mistake he makes, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trains and gives a lesson to a prophet. Because Rasulullah in the hadith, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he trained me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the upbringing of the prophets, is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah trains them. Whenever, they make a very little mistake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the divine comes in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes in and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trains them. So similarly, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam made a statement by saying, I know more. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded him to travel, and you will find one of our slaves. And before he was going, Allah said to him, you put a ship of fish in a basket. Wherever the fish will become alive, this is the spot where you will, this is the place where you will meet. Now this question is, now was this fish for them to eat, or was it separate from their food? Now some commentators they say this was the very fish they had to eat, and also this was the fish to become alive. Now they ate. Imam Ibn Atiyah says that this very fish, Musa ﷺ and his servant Yusha, they both kept on eating the fish, and they had eaten up half of it, and half of it was left. And when the spot came where it was supposed to become alive, that very fish became alive, while its one of the side was already eaten up. And Imam Ibn Atiyah says many people saw this fish, whose one side was eaten up. Even Imam Ibn Atiyah writes, he records his own sighting, that I have my own self, I've seen this fish. It's one half was eaten up and one was intact. So this fish was, it was something that, some scholars they say it was separate from the food they had. Some say no, it was their food, and also it was something that was to become alive, and there was to find Khidr ﷺ on that very spot. So when it became alive, and I mentioned last week that when Musa ﷺ was sleeping, and it became alive, and it went into the sea, and making the tunnels in the sea wherever it was going, and it was making tunnels in the sea. And when Musa ﷺ woke up, and he saw, he just woke up, and his khadim totally forgot to mention, and he said to him, they walked for a day and night, and when they had walked for a day and night, Musa ﷺ began to feel hungry, thirsty, and he began to feel tiredness. Then he said to him, Atina ghada'ana, bring our meal now, the morning meal. Then he remembered, he said, look, Shaitan made me forget to remember and to remind you and to tell you, the spot where the rock you leaned against and you slept, over there the fish became alive and it went into the sea. So Musa ﷺ said, well, that is the place we are looking for, we need to go there. So they went there and they found Khidr ﷺ. And this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is saying, while they were, he came back and he gave him salam and he met him. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, while they were walking on the shore, and they boarded on a boat, and as soon as they boarded in the boat, in Khidr ﷺ, he damaged, he broke, one of the panels of the boat, and nearly the water was about to come in, but water did not come. This was the miracle. This was the miracle. The water did not enter into the boat. This was the miracle. It was the miracle of Khidr ﷺ. And then straight away he spoke here, Musa ﷺ. Because look, Musa ﷺ had the knowledge of Sharia, what is lawful and what is unlawful. Because in the Sharia, it is unlawful to damage people's properties. And here he was damaging somebody's property. So Musa ﷺ then straight away spoke. He said, what are you doing? You're damaging somebody. You have damaged their property. You have damaged their boat. He said, look, you said to me, we made a promise. I said to you in the beginning that you cannot walk with me. You will not be a patient because I have some knowledge which you do not have. And Musa ﷺ, he said to Ibrahim, fine, I will not speak. He said, look, you spoke now. He said, he said, excuse me for this. And he said, that's fine. And then from there they walked. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they were proceeding, and what happened, they saw a small boy walking. Musa Khidr ﷺ went to this boy and he killed him. Now here again, he did something which against the Sharia. Again here Musa ﷺ speaks. So what are you doing? What have you done? You have killed an innocent boy. He said, look, what I have said to you before, you will not be patient with me. So he said, just forgive me. So then again, he went again to the third thing he did. Inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, we will mention next week. Before I finish, just to, as I've been making dua for our Hadrat Mawlana Yusuf Mutala Sahib, he, why, people might be thinking, why is it that Mawlana Sahib, maybe after every prayer and he's making dua for him, the personality, it's a very unique personality. This personality, he's the one who is the founder of the very first Islamic institute, Islamic college in UK, not only in UK, in Europe. Mustafa, he opened a Darul Uloom in 1973 in Lancashire, in Bury. He was the first person, and he dedicated his life, and in spreading the knowledge. And he was the first one to establish and erect a Darul Uloom in Europe. And thereafter, many Darul Ulooms were opened, and his shagirs and his students extend not only to UK, in abroad, and you will find nearly all the English speakers, scholars in UK abroad are his students. At the moment, he is in a very critical condition. He went with his family to Canada, and over there, he had a heart attack twice, and at the moment he's in a coma. We need him. Not only us, the whole ummah needs him. Our Prophet ﷺ in a hadith, he says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not snatch the knowledge, but he will take the knowledge away by taking the ulamas. Just recently, Maulana Tarha in India has passed away, Maulana Zakariya's son. Now, the Shaykh Maulana Yusuf Ta'ala, he is in a critical condition. We ask you to make a dua for him, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him a very quick recovery so that he can return to UK and we can benefit from him. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Allahumma Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmatan innaka antal wahhab. Oh Allah, we ask you and beg you to grant help to our Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Ta'ala Sahib. Oh Allah, we ask you and we beg you to bring him safely to UK so that we all can benefit him. Oh Allah, we accept our dua. Allahumma Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar. Allahumma Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas samiul alim wa tub alayna innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqihi Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.